Does social media usage impact a college student's GPA?
Hi, my name is Veronica Lopez.
Hi, I'm Ashley Mitchell.
I'm Candice, and this is what we'll be discussing. After this class, are you going to leave social media alone while in school? We have two forms of background research. One is social media and one is GPA, which is grade point average. Social media is defined as the application services and systems that allow users to create and remix and share contents. GPA, which is grade point average, is defined as a grade point average in a number representing the average value of the cumulated final grade earned in a course over time, more commonly called a GPA. A student's grade point average is calculated by adding up all accumulated final grades and dividing that figure by the number of grades awarded. So now I will give you guys a background on social media usage and GPA. Jacobson and Forts conducted a study of 430 college students. This study was of multiple areas in regards to social media usage and how it affects a student's GPA. Studies show that social media allows students to stay connected with friends and family, lowering anxiety, and allowing students to work harder in school with a better GPA. According to Williams, social media is like a drug. In most settings, it is hard to escape, readily available, and entertaining for hours on end. This makes it easy for someone to avoid the reality of homework, tests, and other obligations for a simpler form of entertainment. According to Lau, social media usage affects the GPA of a college student when using social media for non-academic purposes. However, when using social media for academic purposes, like students who use Twitter, showed higher levels of engagement and obtained a higher semester grade point average than students who did not. A study was conducted by the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth Center for Marketing Research that stated every single university that participated in the study is now using one form of social media. This includes 98% of colleges and universities have a Facebook page, 84% have a social Twitter account, 66 have a blog, podcasting is being used at 41% of schools, 47% admissions professions are using LinkedIn, only 8% of colleges and universities are using MySpace, and 85% of college universities are using YouTube. Based on the literature review for this study, our group has determined that there is a negative correlation between social media usage and your GPA. For example, Miriam's Hospital Center for Behavioral and Preventive Medicine did a study composed of 430 college students. And after that study, it was confirmed that 97% use social media on at least one site. This study showed a downward trend of GPA amount of social media usage. Prevalence rates. According to American College Health Association, 1 out of 6 students use social media. 41% of college undergraduates report that social media has affected their GPA in a negative way.
Our research question was, what is the relationship between social media use and grade point average among college students? Hypothesis: social media influences grade point average. Independent variable was social media use and the dependent variable was GPA. Methods: we used a survey research design to investigate if there is a relationship between social media use and grade point average. The independent variable was social media use, and the dependent variable is grade point average. Survey question used to measure social media use. How often do you use social media during a day? The type of measurement used for the question was ordinal level variable because the response can range rank order and is not precise. Survey question used to measure grade point average. What is your overall GPA? The type of measurement used for the question was a ratio level variable because there is an absolute zero. A Pearson correlation test was used to see if there would be a relationship between the variables social media use and grade point average among the CSU 460 spring course semester. For the results, there were 33 participants in the gender table, race table, and age table. In the gender table, there are 30 females, 2 males, 1 transgender. In the race table, there are 7 African Americans, 22 Latinos, 1 Asian American, 2 whites, and 1 from the other category. In the age frequency table, there are 2 20-year-olds, 9 students that are 21 years of age, 2 students that are 22 years of age, 3 students that are 23 years of age, 4 students that are 24 years of age, 3 students that are 25 years of age, 2 students that are 27 years of age, 2 students that are 28 years of age, 2 students that are 23 years of age, and 1 for each of the following ages: 19, 26, 37, and 56 years of age. The data table and pie charts give the results of the survey given to the class. Each pie chart has a legend that gives a description of what is on the pie chart by color coordination. The histogram results. To get the results for social media usage on the histogram, we ranged the choices from 1 to 5 answers, which were none at all, a little, a moderate amount, a lot, and a great deal. The higher answer was a moderate amount of time spent on social media. To get the best results for a student's GPA, it ranged from 2.0 to 4.0. The highest results were 2.3 and 3.0 GPA. The mean for social media use is 2.73 and the mean for GPA is 3.02. Therefore, the student was still able to maintain a good GPA regardless of how much they spent on social media use.
This is our scatter plot chart that reveals the correlation between grade point average and social media use. The correlation between the two has a non-significant relationship with each other. As you can see, the more a student was on social media, it did not affect the GPA in a significant way. For example, the 4 people who were on social media about 4 times still managed to maintain a GPA between a 3.0 and a 3.6, while the student spending little to no time on social media still maintained about a 3.5 GPA. This research contradicts with our hypothesis that social media will affect students' GPA in a negative way. For our discussion, we talked about Hefner's research and how it showed that engaging in Facebook use or texting while trying to complete schoolwork may tax students' capacity for cognitive processing and preclude a deeper learning. Previous studies show that social media use can cause a negative effect on a student's GPA. We disagree with this because our research from our study shows that social media doesn't affect a student's GPA drastically. Some of the literature we researched were on students from other countries. Our research that we did were on students in the US, but with a larger study, we might be able to get a correlation between social media use and GPA. Strength in our studies were that we were able to ask ordinal level questions to give us an accurate result of how social media use impacts a student's grade point average. It helped strengthen the study by letting students input their exact overall grade point average. However, our limitations in the study were that we were only able to test our fellow HUS460 students. Having a small sample size, it does not give us a bigger picture on how it actually affects a college student. If we were able to open the survey to a broader college population, we may be able to find a correlation between social media use and a student's GPA. In conclusion, studies show that there is a non-significant correlation between social media use and grade point average. Our studies do correlate with our research on how social media does not always affect a student's GPA in a negative way. Considering the non-significant correlation between social media use and a student's GPA, our findings cannot be used for guiding policies, programs, interventions. However, our group does believe that this research may benefit from a larger, more diverse population of Cal State Dominguez Hills students on campus. Going over our results, we must understand that we did only sample a small group of people, and we were not able to understand what those results may have been for a much bigger population based on a broader college population. Our next slide is our reference slide. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for watching.